And welcome in everybody to a special edition of the Racing Angle. And I can't tell you how excited I am for this episode, for this interview, and for you guys to see it. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm joined today by Alon Day, and he's a four-time European NASCAR champ, and he is the freshest Trans AMTA 2 driver winner. He did it at the Lime Rock Classic. He finally wins on U.S. soil. Alon, thanks for joining the show, brother. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. First of all, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Get ready for the next race in Indy. Um, yeah, challenging times here. I live in the Middle East, so it's a bit challenging here.
Yeah, we're gonna break down all that, but I want to, for those that haven't followed you, I want to start by let's go way back. And how did you get started in racing?
I started racing like everybody else in go karts. Uh, at that time, when I started 2002, that was the only motorsports here in Israel. So I raced in go karts, and I was fortunate enough that my dad uh, realized that I have something to offer and sent me to Europe to start racing in go karts in Europe. Um, and then we start rolling the ball. Going into a single seater, I did the normal path to Formula One. At that time, that's what I thought that was the goal. So I started in go karts, Formula Renault, which is Formula 4 those days, Formula 3. I did Indy Lights. And then I switched to GT when I realized I prefer to drive a car with a roof. And yeah, I switched to GT cars. And from there, I switched to stock cars in Europe. And yeah, this is how I got into NASCAR.
You, Looking back, what were the biggest obstacles to starting that career? Obviously, you come from the Middle East, Israel, and that's a pretty unique background in terms of racing. In the NASCAR world, you think of more southern areas. Obviously, you think of more European areas and other disciplines. What was specific to Israel? What were some of the obstacles you had to overcome?
I think like every other driver, money, find sponsorships, obviously, especially in a country that not have a big motorsports culture at that time. And even those days, it's very, very difficult to find a company that wants to sponsor some driver in Europe or in USA. Not all of those companies based in Israel have their markets in the US or in Europe. So it was very difficult to find um, sponsorship, and that was one of the reasons why I switched from single seater to GT cars and also to stock car because I found out it will be easier for me as an Israel guy uh, to find sponsorship in the States, and this is how I actually got, for example, JSSI to sponsor me in NASCAR, in Trans Am, and everything. This is the biggest obstacle coming from the Middle East. Not too many races, not really big culture of motorsports. Yeah, and it's same as everybody else, just a bit tougher.
A bit tougher indeed. And so, for looking back at those moments, was there a moment where you said, "All right, this can actually happen," where it was more than just a dream, and then became? Was there a moment where you go, "All right, this is becoming real"?
Um, I think few times in my career I had I had to do some choices. First of all, I don't know if you know, but everybody in Israel, it's mandatory when you're 18, when you finish the high school, you have to go for 3 years to the military.
Mhm.
It's mandatory. 3 years for boy, 2 years for women, and it's a big career. Like you can have a career in that. You can change your career, and at that time, I was just racing in single seater my first few years, and I was trying to be also. I did all those pre-military tests to try to be a fighter pilot, and then I got to the point that I had to choose either I want to go to the Air Force and try to be a fighter pilot, or to continue with racing. And I don't know what I prefer, to fly high speed in the sky or high speed on the ground. And I won the Asian Championship in Formula Renault at that time, which was a big thing for me. And I realized that I think I have more to offer on the ground than in the air. And that moment was one of those moments that I realized I want to continue full professionally, have a full career in racing professionally. And also when I switched to stock car and I did the first year in the Euro NASCAR, which is a completely different style of racing from what I used to drive. I used to drive single seater. I used to drive GT, where you have big car, traction control, ABS, so many technology manufacturers in Europe. Um, and then after the first year in stock car in the Euro NASCAR, um, I got the opportunity to be in the NASCAR Next class. And that moment also I realized that I might have another thing to offer in stock car, and it's one of those things I really liked it compared to any other car that I drove. So that's another point in my career where I realize I'm going full throttle into racing.
What was it about that car that you enjoyed more than the other ones you dealt with?
I don't know. I did a cup race in Sonoma, and I extremely liked it. Um, and also the TA2. I mean, it's like a NASCAR, but just lighter and faster, and I just love it. So I don't know. As long as you have four wheels, engine, and steering wheel, I'm good with that. It doesn't really matter.
And
Yeah,
you mentioned that you've dealt with fighter jets and surveillance operations and all that sort of thing. Just is there any connection between that mindset and the mindset of a racer?
yeah. I can tell that I can say that many times in my career, I took some tools that I learned in the military. Just for example, how I debrief after every session. I sit and debrief with my engineers, with mechanics, with crew chiefs, whatever it is, um, like we do in the military. After every time I touch the steering wheel, we try to make a briefing before and debrief after. And the way we debrief and analyze things is very similar to how fighter pilots or the Air Force works. Not only in Israel, but also any other air force in the world. I'm pretty sure the same as the U.S. So those are kind of things that I learned from the military and I took with me into racing. And also, uh, yeah, when you live in Israel and you serve in the military, you learn how to deal with everything. And we deal here with some crazy situations as we speak. Yeah, as we speak. A few hours ago, we had a siren here. The rockets from ballistic missiles from Iran just landed, and I had to run to the shelter. So it makes you tougher, and you realize you can do a lot of things. It's just in your mind. And if you have strong mind, you can do. Nothing can stop you.
I have to ask, given the current climate of everything going on, what's day to day life? What's day to day life like over there?
Uh, it depends. It's very, very radical can be
Mhm.
until day go everything was fine, and then in the middle of the night it was extreme, um, really tough. So it's very hard to say how a normal day looks like because every day you wake up, people don't understand how crazy it is in the Middle East. Every day you wake up and your life is like whoa, you just want to survive and let me reach the night and then let me go to sleep and wake up in the morning and everything will be fine. So it's extremely extremely hard. I can tell you, for example, in the first race in Sebring, um, I at the first day I think of practice or qualify, I don't know. Israel and United States opened that operation in Iran, um, and then everything changed. I'm stuck now because the aerospace is closed, and I'm stuck. I cannot do anything. I cannot go back home, and it's changing a lot of things. For example, the same thing happened to me last year when I had the ARCA race in Lime Rock. and I had to, and we had the same operation in Iran, and I had to leave Israel on a boat, 36 hours on a boat to Cyprus, and from Cyprus take another flight to Greece, and from Greece take a flight to just to make it to the race. So, and once you make it and you know you did it, again, it just makes you tougher, and you realize you can do everything, whatever you want.
What is it like right now and getting over to the United States and just that whole process? What is that? What's that like for you during the normal time versus what's going on right now?
Until yesterday, it was just to book a flight, direct flight to New York, and now I don't know. The race is in, I think, 1.5, like a week and a half, and I just don't know. We like open the news, refresh every moment because the airspace is still closed. So yeah, and if it's gonna be closed, it's either I'm leaving on a boat, or either I'm leaving with my vehicle, go to Egypt or Jordan and take a flight. It's extreme. Like you never know. Every day it's a new day and a new challenge. So it's pretty tough. But even though we still try to maintain the normal race car driver life, try to work out as much as I can, be on a simulator as much as I can. For example, I put my simulator in the shelter room. So I know that I can drive, even if I need to be in the shelter room and there is a siren or something, I can still drive and practice while there is bombing going on. So you try to find every time something, how to make it better and better, and come up with some weird solutions. And yeah, it is what it is.
And obviously, you're overcoming those challenges incredibly. You picked up the big win at Lime Rock Park recently for the Memorial Day Classic, getting that first win on U.S. soil. Take me through that race from your perspective, and what's that first win on U.S. soil mean to you?
It means a lot. First of all, beside my professional career, which I did Indy Lights, I did trucks, Xfinity, Cup, TA2. And every time I came so close to win, but I got second place, third place, second place, and I never actually got the victory. So for the first time, it's a big thing for me. And as an Israeli boy, it's a big thing for us. Like people don't understand what is the connection between Israel and United States. Like USA is the biggest ally of Israel. And for example, what Trump did with the hostages, and I used to live in one of those villages that on October 7 got the attack there, and my friends were hostages, some of them killed. And the USA did so many things for us. So winning on the US soil, it's very emotional and big thing for me. So again, it's more than just professional, which I always wanted to win. It's something that I never conquered. I won in almost every continent, but I never won in the US. So it was a big thing. So beside the professional side of it, there is a big emotional thing, and yeah, it's a big thing.
And then, obviously you've had your teammate Elio Mesa, who has been incredible in the TA2 series this year and last year too. He won his first start. How has he pushed you to be a better driver?
Yeah, he annoys me. It was just too good. I mean, at the beginning, really is first of all, he's such a good kid. I think he have a bright future in front of him, and the way he works, you can tell that he gonna do things in the future. And yeah, he pushed me harder and harder because every time I thought I'm getting better, he also got better. So it's always always have to find the edge and something better and better. And I have to give a big credit for the team, for SLR and Scott Legacy, that giving us the opportunity to work together. And it's not we're not working as an enemies against each other. We're actually working together to not only develop us as drivers, but also the whole team. So we try to debrief all of us together after each session, like I just said, and I try to improve the setup not only on my car but on the rest of the team. And I think this is also one of the reasons why Team SLR is dominating so much. I mean, we work in a very unique way, in such a beautiful harmony in a team. And I have to give this credit to Scott, that manage everything in such a beautiful way. And yeah, I said after in the interview after Sonoma, where Helio won the second race, that somebody need to stop him, and I'm happy that it was me that had the opportunity to do that. And yeah, hopefully I will be able to win more races and getting the gap between me and him in the championship maybe smaller. Start to challenge him for winning the championship. And yeah, again, he's pushing me. And I think in every championship there is always one guy or two guys that so good that you have to take yourself to the very limit to beat them. And Helio is definitely one of those guys that you really need to work hard to beat him. And yeah, it's we will see in Indy.
What was the key to your success at Lime Rock? Was it the setup? Was it tire management? Was it strategy? Or was it something else?
I actually don't know, because it was dry the whole weekend, and the race was full wet. And on dry, even though I won the pole position, he was second. It was still very close. But the next day it was raining. You don't know what will happen. I never drove Lime Rock on a wet condition, so it was very unknown. But I like to drive on rain condition. I'm coming from Europe. I did a lot of races in Europe. In Europe, we actually drive. Doesn't matter the weather. We drive unless it's fog and you cannot see. You drive. So I really enjoy driving in the rain. And I think this is one of the things that gave me the edge on the rest of the field, which I just like driving in the rain, and which is funny, because I'm coming from Israel. We have maybe 5 days of rain here, and we live in almost in kind of a desert here. So it's a bit funny that somebody who grew up in the desert likes to drive in the rain, but I just had so much fun, and actually the car was amazing. I mean, in terms of setup and everything, the team did an amazing job to put the car on, to give me such a good car.
How did your deal with Team SLR come about? How did that relationship start?
I realized it's kind of the things that I truly believe that to be a European driver and try to race on oval, it's almost impossible. If we think about it and we think about the history and we look at other drivers who try to come from Europe and doing some oval races, it's tough. If you didn't grow up turning left fast, you're gonna have some hard time driving an oval. And I'm just a road course specialist. This is my thing. I mean, I grew up driving, left and right and brake. So I was looking for something that will be a mix of stock car and also driving on road course. And TA2 was the best combination for that. It's exactly what I was looking for. So after I did the few ARCA races last year and the Xfinity race in Portland, I realized that I want to do a full season and have the opportunity to win a championship in the US. And again, JSSI and the sponsor Neil Book was backing me, and I'm very thankful for them. They stick with me for 3 years already, and he gave me the opportunity to go for a full season and have that shot on winning a championship. And when we decided to go into Trans Am, it was very clear. You opened the championship standing and who won the championship, and you just shoot an email. And we had the conversation with Scott, and the relationship with Scott is was just a click from the very beginning. And yeah, this is how everything how it happened.
And it's the 60th anniversary of the Trans Am series. What's it mean to you, especially now, to be a winner during that historic season?
Again, it's part of history, and there is always it's always special. But I try not to think about it too much. I try to focus on every race by itself and not about the championship. I think this is the best way when I realize, okay, it's not going to be an easy championship to win because in Europe, when I raced in Europe, it was also stock car on road courses. The Euro NASCAR not doing any ovals, we're the only road courses. And I was kind of like dominating my last couple of years there. And here I'm not. So I realized I need to work hard and I try not to think about the whole championship as a full story, as a full championship. I'm trying to focus each race by race. And again, it's a big thing to be part of history. But I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying to focus each race, and also don't have the I don't have the free space in my brain with all the things that are going on right now in the Middle East to even think about those kind of things. I'm trying to think again, race by race. So it's a big thing. It's very nice to be a winner in such a on their anniversary. But again, I'm not thinking about it too much.
You mentioned everything that's going on. I do want to ask, how do you transition into that right mindset for race weekends or for being in the sim or for all those things? Because obviously your head has to be in a certain place mentally, and there's a lot of let's just say uncertainty with everything in the Middle East right now. How do you kind of turn that off when you come over here to the U.S. and have to prepare for a race weekend?
It's hard. It's very hard. I can tell you that again, that race in Sebring, the first race, it was the night between qualifying and the race. I think so. And we attacked at 4 a.m. Eastern time. I got a message from my wife that shit hit the fence. It's going bad, bad, bad. And she had to stay in the shelter. And I have a little girl, 6 months old, and I cannot even describe how hard it is. I prefer to be here in Israel at those times, to be here running to the shelter, but I know that I try to protect as much as I can my family. And when I was there and I realized I couldn't do anything to help them, it was extremely hard, and I had to go into the first race of the season with that thing in my mind. But again, I mean, my wife, she came from she was a journalist. This is how we actually met. She came from sports. She realized what I need. She knows what I need as an athlete, and she tried to give me as much confidence as I can to keep me calm and tell me that everything is going well, and try to focus as much as I can on what I need to do. And yeah, it's something that you cannot really get rid of because this is life. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, again, we're dealing here with death and life here. And it's kind of like a Russian roulette every time when a ballistic missile land here. It's a Russian roulette. Like, you don't know if it's gonna hit you, you're dead. So it's something that you cannot get rid of completely, but I tried as much as I can. And again, those kind of things makes you tougher. I tried to get the best out of it. So when I got stuck in Florida at that time after Sebring and I couldn't go back home, I tried to spend as much time as I can in Team SLR with the guys, with the mechanics and everybody. Try to work on the car, try to be on a simulator at the shop. Try to prepare myself as much as I can. But again, I mean, you open the phone every 5 minutes and try to refresh and read the news and what's going on. And every time there is a siren in Israel, my phone is also, there is a siren on my phone also. So it was extremely tough. and it is extremely tough. But I mean, I grew up. I born in '91, in the middle of the Gulf War. I grew up through the Iraq War in 2001. Um, I mean, I grew up into this kind of life. So again, it is what it is. It's sad to say, but I'm getting used to it. I mean, we all used to it. Even when you're a very small kid, I remember 2001 when after September 11, when George Bush, um, went into Iraq and then did everything. I had to go to school with a gas mask because we didn't know if Saddam Hussein would send some weird stuff into Israel. So this is life. This is what I know. I don't know anything else. And again, it's kind of sad to say that, but I'm used to it. You cannot get rid of it completely in your mind, but you try it as much as you can. And again, those kind of things again makes you tougher.
How you is that how it's shaped you mentally? Is that it's just made you tougher?
Yeah, for sure. I think every person in Israel is getting tougher by just growing up here.
Mhm.
Uh, this is our mentality. This is what we used to, and I think also it's a very even in a normal time without any war. I think it's a good thing. I personally think it's a good thing to go to the military. Makes you tougher, more mature, gives you some discipline, uh, gives you some way, some tools in life. You know how to work, um, and also changing you mentally. Like there are so many things in the military and also in Israel that you know you never thought you can do, and suddenly you just realize it's all in your mind. And yeah, I think every person in Israel grew up into that, and we become a bit tougher. Um, but again, I have nothing to compare. I mean, again, everybody around me is the same. Um, since my dad also grew up fighting wars here, so we're all the same.
And you were once, I believe, back in 2016, Israel Athlete of the Year. What did that honor mean to you? Obviously, you're very proud of where you come from, and so what's that honor mean to you?
Uh, it's a big thing because I was the first athlete um, in motorsports to win this award. So I'm kind of like a pioneer here in the Israeli motorsports. I was the first one when I was in the military. I was the first one to recognize a professional athlete. So basically, when I was a soldier in the military, they let me go fly to my races and do my races and let me practice. Usually when you're a soldier, you go to the base on Sunday and you stay there until whatever a week, a two, a month, whatever you require and they actually let me go to my races. And I was the first one to recognize as an athlete, and all the other race car drivers after me got this opportunity also because I was the first one to be recognized. So also winning the award, athlete of the year, the first race car driver in Israel, it's a big thing because it's a big step for Israel, for the Israeli motorsports, but Israel in general. That I open a door to another thing, to another, you know, people started, watching NASCAR. I mean, let's be honest, we're it's the Middle East. Um, NASCAR is not a very big thing, It's a very unique American. It's like football, American football. Here we're all soccer. We're all playing. Yeah, I guess you call it soccer. We call it football here.
Mhm, we call it soccer.
Yeah, it's the same. So people, when you see people start watching NASCAR instead of Formula One, and actually NASCAR is broadcast on Israeli TV, you realize that you did something, and I feel like I did a big. It's a big step that I helped Israel. I pushed Israel to achieve, and it's a big thing for me.
Would you say that is the proudest accomplishment of your motorsports career?
The what? Sorry.
Is that the proudest accomplishment of your motorsports career so far?
Nah, I think I think winning the first European Championship was the biggest achievement for me. Um, because it was tough. It was very tough. And yeah, every time you win a championship, people sometimes don't understand how much sweat, and how much work and dedication you need to put into winning a championship. You can win a race, it's nice, but to win a championship, be consistent is mentally, requiring so much mentally and physically. So when I won the first European Championship, that was my proudest achievement in my opinion.
How do you compare that championship to your other three?
They're all the same, to be honest. Every championship, every year, it's a new challenge, a different challenge, and sometimes, I mean, I guess it's all the same kind of toughness. As I said, almost every season and every championship, there is always one or two Helio Mesa like that always push you to the very limit. Um, and yeah, every championship was same kind of toughness. So I wouldn't say that the first one is the most exciting one, because you wake up in the morning and you realize I'm the best in Europe. Um, but every championship, I was crying after when I crossed the finish line when I won the championship.
I know you say you try to take it race by race, and especially under the current circumstances, you don't try to think too far ahead. But if you let yourself think about what that moment might be like, where say you win the TA2 championship, have you let yourself dream about that moment a little bit?
Yeah, I think if you don't, you have to dream about it if you want to achieve it. You have to imagine it in order to achieve it. Uh, yeah, I think about it, but try to not to think about it too much. Uh, it's a long season, very long season. It's a journey, and if you always look at the finish line, sometimes the journey looks far ahead. But if you look step by step, it's much easier and nicer to look at, and also I will be able to concentrate in a better way.
And then for those that don't pay attention to the Trans Am series, what makes it unique versus the other disciplines you've taken part in?
Uh, I think people understand since SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen came to NASCAR. I think people understand that road courses can be fun to watch with stock car. And I think TA2 brings that kind of combination between stock car and like road racing, road course racing. And I don't know if you ever watched the V8 supercars in Australia. This is one of the most fascinating championship in the world, in my opinion. So I think the TA2 is kind of like a mix, a bit from here, a bit from here, a bit from there, and the combination of everything together makes it such a very unique race to watch. So it's kind of like a stock car, very aggressive. Also, the drivers are very aggressive, but also very fast cars, kind of like stock car, which I like it. I don't like driving GT cars where you have so many technology inside. You have traction control, ABS, so many strategy and things behind. Here is very pure driving. The car is almost kind of like naked. It's just, as I said, it's steering wheel, engine, and four wheels, and very strong engine. So it's very, I don't know how to say that, but it's just one of the best, one of the most unique, fascinating championships to watch.
And do you have a favorite track on the schedule coming up? Is there a race that you have circled that you go, yeah, I can't wait to get there?
I think Lime Rock was one of the races that I was really looking for, because last year I did the ARCA race. Again, it was after that crazy situation journey that I did from the Middle East to be able to race. And then I was leading the whole race. I got a penalty. I went to the back of the field, the tail of the field, and I went back, climb up back to second place. But I was so close to win the race, and I never won it. So I was really looking forward to go back to Lime Rock, and this is one of the coolest races, racetracks. Actually, you jump. I don't know if you saw that. But you jump with a car, and it's such a crazy elevation changes. So Lime Rock was one of the most fun tracks to drive. I don't know about the future. I never drove in Coda. we will see. And also India, I did only the oval, but I never did the road course. So we will see. We will talk after the races, and I will tell you about it.
Hey, I'll be. You can come back on anytime. You got an open invite, my friend. I promise you that. So,
Thank you.
so I'll hold you to that. So I'll
Thank
see you
you.
at Dakota. That's what I just
All
figured.
right, we will see.
Uh, so, what still needs to improve for your program to feel like you can compete for a championship in TA2? What's the biggest hurdle you still got to get over?
I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like adapting to the car very fast. Sebring was the first time I touched the car. I landed in Sebring. First practice was the first time ever I drove the TA2, and it takes you time to adapt to a new car. Every car have their own unique style of driving. Each car is a different way of driving, and sometimes the way you drive the car, the way you brake, the way you shift or do whatever. Every car have the small things that if you tune them better, you will be very quick. And I think this is one of those areas that I work very hard and try to improve as much as I can right now.
Kind of going back a little bit, do you remember the first time you raced in the United States and what that weekend was like for you?
Yeah, that was St. Pete with Indy Lights. Yeah, it was also another very crazy season. I can tell that driving single seater on street tracks can be terrifying and fun at the same time. I never thought I would. I think only when I drove the Freedom 100, the oval race on Indianapolis, I felt the same. That can be terrifying and fun at the same time. But yeah, I remember that, and it was. You also need to. There are so many things that you need to adapt and learn because the American racing have some different rules sometimes compared to the European style of type of racing. Like the FIA rules are sometimes different from the NASCAR rules or from the IndyCar rules. So every time, first race in 2012 was very hard to adapt to a new type of environment and type of racing.
And then you've raced in the what is now the O'Reilly Series and the Cup Series, and what do you think was the biggest lesson learned during some of those NASCAR starts in the O'Reilly Series and the Cup Series?
That the last 10 laps of the race, you just need to shut your brain off and be as aggressive as you can. Because every time I had the best race of my life and I was like fighting top 5, top 10, whatever. And then last caution, everybody became animals, absolutely animals. And then I found myself like being bumped out, and it was just so tough. And you realize that you need to put your elbow out and fight really hard in order to gain your position and earn your position. So those are one of the things that I learned, and I had very hard time to learn because Europe is very Europe, very, very gentle, no bumping, no touching, very clean. If you touch somebody else, there is a chance that you will get a penalty for that. And here it's just like free for all, whatever, the strongest will win, survive. So that was one of the things that I learned from driving in NASCAR here.
You've achieved so much in your career. What keeps you motivated at this stage? What keeps you coming back for more?
The will. I want to win. I want to win championships. That's all. I just love driving fast.
So you say you want to win championships, and I know you don't like to think too much ahead, but what would a TA2 championship mean to you?
In the end of the day, again, I want to win. I want to feel that I conquer also something in the States, and I want to give JSSI this championship because they've been with me the whole period of time since I came back into racing after October 7, after that situation here. And this is how I met Neil Book, the owner of JSSI. So it was very emotional comeback because after when I won the last European championship, I decided that I want to take a break and I don't want to race anymore full season. And when I met Neil Book, I felt like I have something to bring on the table, and I feel like I still have some speed inside of me, and I will be able to. I want to be able to win another championship. I feel that I can do that, and yeah, and also when I won Lime Rock, I feel even better. I can definitely do that. You know?
And so, how validating was that win at Lime Rock for you? I mean, just how did that change your mindset?
I think it gives me, the kind of like validating that I'm capable of. I can do that. It's just it was a matter of time, and I was patient enough, and I worked hard enough, and I realized that if I will work hard in the future, I will be able to win more races, and hopefully, win the championship, or at least fight very hard to win the championship.
Well, we certainly are wishing you the best of luck. I got one more question before we let you go. You've been so generous with your time. If someone would have told you growing up, the young kart racer from Israel, that you'd win NASCAR championships in Europe, you'd race on U.S. soil, and you'd win now on U.S. soil, and with everything going on, with the path your life has taken, under the background of everything that's gone on in the Middle East over the last decades, what do you think your reaction would have been? Growing up, could you have ever imagined the journey you've taken?
I don't know. It's so many athletes in Israel have kind of like the same story to me, but being in motorsports as an Israeli kid it's a big thing. And again, every day I wake up in the morning and I'm so happy and fortunate to be able to be in this situation, to be able to be fast enough to win races and win championships. And I'm just, I don't know. It's tricky question, but and every time I wake up I wake up in the morning, I just can't believe that I made it. But it also keeps me motivated because I made it. I can do even better. I can do more. It's just about patience. I think this is the biggest thing.
Well, before I let you go, how can people follow you? How can people support you? And what is there anything you want to say or promote or talk about? You have the floor. I promise you can say anything you like, anything you want to share. Completely open. Go for it.
You can follow my journey on my Instagram. Just wish me luck. And if you want to be my guest on the races, please come to watch the races. They are fascinating, they're exciting, and it's going to be fun. Trust me.
Well, Alon, thank you so much for joining the show, man. And personally, I am praying for you and your people. And again, I just pray that you stay safe, and best of luck this season, and best of luck in Indy and just going forward. And we'll have you back on in November after COTA.
All right. Thank you very much, again. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. Hopefully, I will be here with more victories. Who knows? Thank you very much.
We got to make it happen, my friend. Thank you.
Well, right now you need to wish me that I will be able to make it to Indy. I think this is the first goal now, just to make it to Indy, and then we will see if I will win the race.
Make it to Indy, then we'll go from there. I got it.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.